Evening, we're going to be talking to one of my favorite ladies, Rosemarie D'Alessandro and Joan D'Alessandro, and we're going to be talking about beautiful Joan Angela D'Alessandro and the Joan's Joy Foundation. Let me tell you a little bit about the beautiful, I should say, Joan Angela D'Alessandro. Joan was a 7-year-old beautiful little girl and a proud brownie when Joan was delivering 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies to a neighbor. The cookies came in. Mom, I'm going to go over there and deliver them, who lived right across the street, maybe 2 houses down. Rosemarie will correct me. 3 houses down from Joan's house. And the neighbor, a Tappan Zee high school chemistry teacher, yes, that's what he was. I don't even want to mention his name because he's not worth my breath. He sexually molested and murdered Joan on April 19th, 1973, on Holy Thursday. Joan's body was found 3 days later on Easter Sunday in a sepulchre-like space in a large rock at Harriman State Park in New York. And since then, Rosemarie has been fighting for legislation for children. 5 legislations passed in this time. So what Rosemarie did is she turned her lemons and her tragedy into positive energy for parents, and so that their children can stay safe. And Rosemarie D'Alessandro is just an incredible lady, and we're going to be talking about a new book that Rosemarie is in the process of authoring along with John, and I don't know if Michael is part of this, but it's a book, and it's an incredible book. You're going to hear why it's so incredible. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce my dear friend Rosemarie D'Alessandro and Joan D'Alessandro. Welcome.
Well, hi, everyone. So nice to be here and have this opportunity to really, this will be the first time I will be reading some of the letters.
Oh, wow.
And, yes.
And
so
Rose...
I picked some out.
Oh, thank you. Rosemarie, I want you, if you can, please, and John, you're there with us, too. Hi, John. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. It's an honor. And happy birthday late to you, John, and happy graduation late to you. But we're very proud of you, John.
Thanks.
We're proud of you because you're such an achiever, and you're there with Mom, helping Mom through a lot of tough times. And Rosemarie, let's start. And John, let's tell our audience. We have about 4. We're going to go to break. I don't want to get too involved yet because after our break, but we have 4 minutes. So why did you write this book now, almost 50 years after Joan's death? And then we're going to ask you what the book is about.
Okay. Well, we have like fundraisers.
Yes.
And we had this yard sale. And at the yard sale in 2008, someone brought me these letters. And these letters were like over 300 letters. And they were written to his mom, who was a pen pal. And he didn't know about this until she died. He found them.
The gentleman who delivered the letters to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And and at that time, we were fighting to keep Joan's killer in prison. And at that time, there was a very good chance he could come out. Mm. So therefore, with this information, that would be new information to keep them in. Mm-hmm. So what I did was give them to the parole board. Of course, the killer wouldn't know about them. And you could not have him know about them. So then why did I wait? I had to wait until he died. Mm-hmm. And he died last year. Mm.
Yay.
But I didn't know I was going to be writing a book, self-publishing a book. But then it's something that it's a step-by-step thoughts that come in your mind just almost like intuitively, and that's what was happening to me,
Mm-hmm. And I'd like everybody, before we go to a break, Rosemarie, I'd like you to let everybody know that this book is, how many letters do you have in your possession that the killer wrote to the pen pal?
John assisting me with it, we counted 325.
Is that right, John?
Yes, 325.
And these were letters to the pen pal. I mean, who would have a pen? Who would be a pen pal to this deviant? So it was the killer to the pen pal, and then the pen pal back and forth. And how many years did that go on? That they were back and forth corresponding?
Well, it started Joan died in 73, so it started, the first letter we have is May of 73, but some of the letters were damaged with water, so I don't know if it was before that.
Okay.
So that would have been a few weeks before.
Okay.
Then they go in the 70s. We have a lot in the 70s. We have some in the 80s. We have a lot in the 90s. We have 2000s that go up to 2006. They would have continued, but what happened was Pen Pal died in 2006.
Ah, okay, and that was the end. So, okay, and I'd like all of our listeners to know that the book contains all of the letters from the killer to the pen pal back, and it's all of these letters, and the book will be comprised of that. Now, before we go to break, let's go to break first.
There'll probably be 2 books.
There's going to be
there's so many letters.
Okay.
I have to tell you, everyone, this is a process. I had no thought of this. Then I woke up one morning and I said, I'm going to parallel my life to the dates of these letters.
Yes.
And that's what I'm doing.
And that's what the book is about. Rosemarie and John, please stay with us because I really want to get into, what some of the letters you're going to read. A couple of the letters, and we're going to talk about a possible title for the book. And the book is going to be done in August, correct? Or is it July? The end of July?
No, the book. The deadline is August 3rd.
Okay.
But the book, there'll be a lot of work to do on it.
Yes.
With the publishers.
Okay.
And the goal is to have it done by April 19th, the 50th anniversary of Joan dying.
Okay. Please stay with us, Rosemarie D'Alessandro, John D'Alessandro, please, and we'll be back after these very important messages. Thank you. Stay with us. We're visiting with Rosemarie.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Rosemarie and John D'Alessandro, and we are talking in memory of the beautiful Joan Angela D'Alessandro. Joan was, her life was taken at 7 years old. What's going on here? 7 years old, and she was a little brownie and delivering cookies, her last couple boxes of cookies. So, Rosemarie, would you tell everybody a little bit, if they haven't heard you, which I hope they have, just give a little bit of a background about what happened and why you did what you did almost 50 years ago.
Yeah, okay. Well, what I did was I felt very... there was a message in this whole tragedy, and with my beliefs, my faith.
Yes.
Holy Thursday and Easter Sunday are very important days, and I had never heard of a case where someone had died on Holy Thursday and was found on Easter.
Right.
And
yes.
I wasn't surprised because this was involving Joan. And Joan was a person that came into this world with great joy, and that was her spirit of life. And she had this joy, and she would stand up for people. She was compassionate. She was kind, but she was also like real spunky and brave and athletic and musical and a dancer and articulate and very bright. She was a leader.
And she loved animals.
I was told that by her ballet teacher. So she had all this.
Yes.
But with all this, she didn't wear it on her sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't go around acting like, and she could have been that way because she was very popular. And she didn't do that. She just believed in saying, let's do something. Let's stop fighting and let's go do something and play. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So that was her way. And I found out about this, through like her friends later on. Because this was like new news to me, some of this information I'm giving you, especially the latter information. So you take the 3. I knew something good was going to come out of this. So in my distress, in my pain, in my sorrow, what happened to Joan, she was sexually assaulted, and she was strangled, she was hit, her head was like hit on the floor, and it broke, and terrible, terrible things. And she didn't even know about
Yes.
didn't even know like what was happening to her from the very beginning. And she was, she was little, right? She was little.
7-year-old
But she
baby.
fought. She fought.
Oh.
And he was like, and you'll see in letters as we go into the letters.
Yes, let's start.
He was very, very evil. That what he wanted was, as soon as he saw her, he said, "I'm going to get her. Come in. I was a teacher. I know how to do it." And he said, "I'm going to kill her." And his whole goal was to destroy her and feel power. And that's what happened.
And you,
I could have been destroyed too, right?
yes.
I could have been destroyed.
Oh my gosh, what mother would not be? Absolutely.
And I had 2 other children that I had to think about. And also, I thought I had to think about her.
Absolutely.
Because, whatever I was going through was never going to be the same as what she went through.
Absolutely.
So I was thinking of each of the children, and I was thinking of other things too that, in the process.
Yes.
There were about 8 things I thought of.
Yes.
And here we are, really, the spirit of her legacy, is bigger and bigger. And I'm not surprised, and it will get even bigger. And helping people, helping children, helping parents, helping people understand that there is hope in this world.
Absolutely.
You hear a lot about no hope, blah, 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 blah. She's telling everybody there is hope. And she's showing just by her spirit.
Yes.
And I am there with her.
Yes.
And, everybody, there's hope.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
You just have to believe it, even if you see darkness.
Rosemary,
Don't let the darkness drag you down.
Absolutely. Positive energy.
Yeah.
And Rosemary, really quickly, I want to just run through these, and if we have time, we'll talk about those, but I want to get to the book because that's so important.
Okay. Yeah, sure,
and I want everyone out there to know that Rosemary, since Joan's death, has, well, not really, maybe a couple, maybe X amount of years later, Rosemary has had 5 legislation passed for children. Joan's Law, New Jersey, April 3rd, 1997. Joan's Law, federal, on the federal level, October 30th, 1998. Justice for Victims Law in New Jersey, November 17th, 2000. Joan's Law in New York State, September 15th, 2004, and Joan's Law in New Jersey, once again, July 21st, 2017. And they all have to do with ages where if, so that go ahead.
The last one.
Go ahead.
The last one.
Joan's.
The last one is the expansion to under 18.
Okay.
Because the first one was under 14.
Right.
So now all minors are involved in it.
And we have to, I'd like to let everyone know, the listeners, that these legislations do not allow the killers to get out of jail like Rosemary and her family had to deal with when Joan's killer was in jail. He was up for parole every 12 years. And what Rosemary had to do in the family to keep him in shouldn't happen to anyone. And that's why Rosemary said, I'm going to do something about this for other parents. And that's what you did. 5 legislations. God bless you, Rosemary D'Alessandro. Absolutely.
Change has to be made, and it starts with one person. And then that one person just was me at this time, and then make the one person become 10 people become 100, 100 people become 1,000.
Yes.
Right now, it's hundreds of thousands.
Yes, it is. And let me ask you now, and John also, we'd like to know, so that's how you received the 325 letters. So that's how you got them. And let me now, how do the letters show evil? Would you like to read a few for us?
Okay, now I'm
John.
I picked some.
Okay.
I picked some from the 70s.
Okay.
I wanted to go, this is 74. So the first one is 6/7/74. Wait, just let me take a sip of water.
Sure. And John, you're with us, correct?
Yes.
Yes, I want to find out.
Okay, so this one says this. He gives advice to Sue. Now, Sue is the pen pal. On how to raise children. He tells her to try to bring up her children with love and understanding. So,
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
I know, this is what he said. And this was like 14 months after he
brutally murdered.
Joan.
Yeah,
He murdered Joan.
right. Mm-hmm.
Now, here it is. I said, I might have changed it, but this was my original writing on it. Because remember, I have comments or I parallel my life. The advice that he gives to Sue makes sense and shows awareness of what a child needs and what one might think. And one might think that these words could never be the words of a child killer.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it shows that he was very tricky.
He's manipulative. Absolutely.
Very tricky. So just understand, everyone, that that's the way it works. It took me getting into about 100 letters to really understand what evil is about because of his trickiness.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes.
Of course, I knew,
Right.
but I still was trying to take it a little bit more objectively as I was writing.
Yes.
To get their thoughts out more clearly. And then this one tells her, this is 11/25/74, tells her that his mom has decided to stop going to church. And she was a person that went every day. And she was a person that told one of the churchgoers that she hated me because if it wasn't for me, her son wouldn't be in prison. All right? Okay. He tells her
Sick.
that he would prefer that she doesn't tell his mom anything that he tells her. His mom would be upset that he told someone else and not her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He says, tells her there are many things that he doesn't want his mother to learn about, even though it might be tough to keep her in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
He goes on to say he would consider giving her more information when he gets out.
Yeah, right. In many of these letters, Rosemarie, I'd like the listeners to know, his whole goal was wrapped around getting out. Oh, when I get out. And that's what he thought.
Oh, yeah. Wait till you see this one.
Go ahead.
Let's see this one. Oh.
And
Okay, this one. This is 12/26/74, a day after Christmas. Says when he gets out of prison, he's going to spend several months celebrating the holidays that he missed. Says that listening to the news, it's scary how the economy is falling apart. 74.
I'll be.
John, go ahead. What would you like to say, John?
Yeah, about that. He's assuming he's going to get out and he wants to make up for lost time and all.
Yeah, well, what about Joan? What about Joan making up? What about Joan?
Right.
She doesn't get out of anywhere. I mean, well, we know that he's sick. We know that he's, but he wasn't sick. Right. He wasn't sick.
He was not insane.
Right.
He was not mentally insane.
They didn't find him insane, yes.
He is evil.
Evil, yes, he is. He's Satan on earth.
He's in darkness, dark.
Absolutely.
Dark.
And then your
Layers of dark.
life was paralleling this at the same time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You were writing, okay, so that's what the book is. Can we hear another letter, Rosemarie, please?
Well, I took 3 letters because I didn't think there would be more time.
That's
maybe
okay.
John has something to say, and maybe he can get me more letters.
Yes. So John,
These letters are like, you want to read more. You want to read more.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, it's like getting into the mind of an evil satanic individual.
Yeah, you just want to read more and more. Mm-hmm. And the way it's going to be organized, you could refer to it like say, oh, I'll just read the letters in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to go back to that letter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Exactly.
One letter I really remember in my head.
Go ahead.
Oh, my gosh. It was 7/22/98. And in it, he talks about this is the 32nd anniversary of my incarceration. And remember, this is 98. And since 73, Joan doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
He does. She doesn't. He just blocks it out. like he doesn't remember what he did. So she doesn't exist.
He remembers what
So
he did.
therefore,
Yeah.
he doesn't have the conscience work, and he doesn't have any
Yes.
remorse.
Yes.
But what happened? So then I talk about, well, it's a 32nd anniversary of my daughter not being around
That's right.
and not seeing her alive.
The memorial.
And not seeing her grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I missed all these 32 years.
Absolutely, and I mean, and
It's
the
very sad. I mean, that's sad.
oh,
That's hard.
Rosemarie,
I mean,
it's
she
not.
was
It's
like-
it's beyond. But Rosemarie, the other
yeah.
pen pal, the woman.
Yes.
I mean, where
Her
does
name is Sue. There's only one.
Sue, right? This Sue. The thing is, how could this woman? I mean, I know I'm being maybe I'm not. I sound like I'm unkind. How could this woman Sue have any kind of contact with an individual? I don't even call him a human that would do this to a child. How would she keep this kind of a friendship going? I mean, where is she?
Well, they get real close, not romantically,
Right.
but they become friends, and they help, like she helps him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets letters, and she always likes to hear what he says, because everything he says to her is like is always caring and positive.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's just as sick as
That's
him.
what she needs.
And didn't she?
Yeah.
She did some jail time too. It's at one point, correct?
He sensed that she was inside. That's what they call it.
Inside,
She
okay.
had been inside.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Just
yeah.
by why would she be so interested in writing to a person like him? So he was very good in perception of people.
Yes. Oh, he was.
So he perceived about her that he knew that she was inside even before she told him.
You see that? Yeah. Because he's a manipulator and he's evil. So evil begets evil, and that's.
Well, he was a science teacher. He taught chemistry. He has to be intelligent.
Well, yeah, but a deviant. I mean, to do what he. John, go ahead. Let's talk to you, John. John,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I just think, from my perspective, that I was born after. The book is about I guess the question that I would have, being a little detached, is how does, who is the type of person that would do this crime, and also how would they live after it?
Mm-hmm.
And then with the paralleling my mother does, is like how does she go on living after the tragedy? So there's both stories together, and to paralleling each other at the same time.
Right.
All like with the connection of this tragedy, but from totally different perspectives.
Yes.
So it makes it very interesting. And over 30 years, so it's so what did I say? Like an epic story in that.
Yes.
There's so much.
There's so much going on
to it.
And when
There's so much from the length of time
And when we read a book and when we see a movie, we like almost 3 different things, 4 things going on. It keeps it interesting. This is a movie. This is movie material. This is a movie to be done down the road.
Where did you see the paralleling of my life?
Yes.
I mean, hardly anybody knows about that part. I mean, that also, you'll see, because of the experiences I had, that helped me to understand about other victims, what they were going through.
Yes.
So therefore, I would know what to say with that to them. But I could have just kept it quiet and say, look, I'm going through it. Why should I even bother? Because, it's not. It takes energy, to deal with this subject. And I just did it because, like I said, the mission. I kept on thinking of the mission. Holy Thursday, Easter, and Joan.
Absolutely.
That's what always kept me going, even though I wanted to stop sometimes.
Well, but Rosemarie, you're a fighter. You're not about that. And also, you were a teacher. You love children, and sometimes God has something befall someone that's going to do something about it. He knew that you would be the person to make a difference through the death of Joan. And
I'm not the only one. There are many people call me a hero, But there are many people that are like, think like for different reasons they believe in something,
Yes.
to change things.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm not the only one, but there are other people, just in all walks of life,
Right.
and heroes.
Yes, and other things. But what you've done, you never gave up. I mean, we're talking about a 50 year, and the 50-year anniversary is going to be April. What is that? April
19th, 1973.
Okay, April 19th.
It's 2023.
In 2023, we have to have something. We have to have a park or something dedicated to Joan Angela D'Alessandro. And now,
wouldn't it be great?
Well,
Wouldn't
we
it be
already
great?
have the
The
butterfly
house where
garden.
she died, right?
Yes.
Where she was killed.
yes,
If someone would take on that project,
that would be.
and because that's what has been done for other, there has been,
Yes,
for
yes.
other children.
And through Joan's like this beautiful grotto where everything springs, beautiful water, everything. And let me ask you now, have you decided on a name, or do you have a name in mind, John and Rosemarie?
Oh, remember I was talking to you about it?
Yes,
John and I have spoken about it, right, John?
John.
Yeah, I like letters. You had one idea, the letters from evil.
Yes.
Some like letters from evil, and then some kind of. But you got to bring in that's also there is my mother's story in there too somehow. But I thought something with that might be compelling.
Or there could be a subtitle. We talked about letters from evil, absolutely. And
John
then
had brought the idea, just the letters. And then I said, well, how about letters from evil?
I like that.
But then we still don't have the light part.
Right.
We just have the darkness.
Right. But from the darkness will come the light, because reading this book for everyone out there, Rosemarie and John, this is going to help people to understand. And like you said, there are people out there that have lost their children and just kind of gone into hibernation. But what you've done is you've turned this, you and John and Michael, and have turned this tragedy into a positive.
We started a movement.
Yes.
Started the movement in '93, and it's because of so many in it, and the unity of it. That's how we do it.
Absolutely.
We do it with people.
Absolutely.
I started, and then then it grows and it grows, and then you keep on saying, "Okay, guys, let's go here. How about we doing that?" And it grows.
Yes,
Everybody is feeling good.
Right, Michael. You want to? Michael, go ahead. I'm sorry, Michael. John. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
That's how then you have the foundation grows from that, and the fundraisers and the safety fest, and helping the kids, and like Mom said, helping the victims, and all of this is going to be in the book, how it really happens and what victims go through with the paroles and parole hearings, the appeals, and how his mind is working at the time, how he was scheming all the time, and his lawyer, and how and what then and then of course my mother will say what she was doing to always combat him and file a lawsuit against him, get his prison money, and basically and how he was affected by it.
I was wishing I was having time to bake.
Yes. Oh,
and everything. Meanwhile, I'm doing all this other stuff.
That's okay.
I'm not doing what I know. But anyway,
we're coming
I went to the beach yesterday. We're coming to the beach, everybody, yesterday. It was really nice.
That's good. And we're coming to the end. John and Rosemarie, please come back. You want to fill us in on the book, and you can go to Joan, JOANS, joy.org if you'd like to donate, if you'd like to be part of the movement for children that are abused and murdered. John, Rosemarie, you two are absolutely incredible. I'm proud to call you my dear friends.
Well, Lori, you are doing a great job. What you're doing.
No, it's all you. It's all you. I'm nothing in comparison.
You are doing a great job by letting this is the way we work together, and lots of people are finding out. I have a lot of my friends listening tonight.
Aww.
There are some victims that are doing it. I really, hope that they see that I don't want them to always feel alone,
Yes,
Yeah,
and they're
yeah,
not.
yeah.
And Rosemarie, John, thank you. Have a beautiful
Thank you,
holiday,
honey.
and we'll talk so soon. God
Thank you,
bless the
Justin.
both of
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
We'll talk soon,
Bye-bye.
Rosemary.
Bye.
God bless, and John, thank you, and thank you, Justin, Tasha. Thanks to all of, thanks to all of you out there. We love you. Stay safe. Keep your children safe, and of course, keep your pets safe. We love you.